right? So these are SQL projects, and for us to do that, I would have to start afresh. So the project we are doing is called Library Rental Analytics. So remember, any analysis you are doing, are trying to solve a business problem. There must be a problem you are solving. You're not just doing it for the sake of it, right? And if you're just doing it for the sake of it, that means you're not aiming to monetize your skills. So whatever you are doing should be something that solves a person's business problem. So in this case, we have this fictitious library that wants to the library wants to run their library better, and then to improve how they earn money, because they rent. It's not just your usual school library where you just come, enter your name, you're allowed in. This one you actually pay money. So that library wants to make sure that they are earning more, understand how people churn. Like churn is people who borrow and they don't come back. Understand maybe how their books get lost, things around that corner. So they actually have a problem they want to solve. Now they now invite you and they give you data sets that they work with. I already dropped the data set in the group, right? So they give you data sets that they work with, and these data sets are 6 in number. Now, the data sets we're actually working with are not so much. That's in terms of their roles. I think in branch, I be employees, there are just, I can't remember, but they are not so much. But then if it is a real life data set, and if that library is a very big library, you should expect your rows to be running in millions. But whether the rows are running in millions or in thousands or in hundreds, the same query we will write now should run for them. The only difference is that your rows are much, the number you're dealing with are much, but the queries remains the same, irrespective of the volume of the data set, right? So you as the data analyst is who they gave you this data set and they told you, okay, they gave you an idea of the problem they want to solve, and they tell you, all right, come and play your own part. So now the first thing you do, like we said before, is to understand the problem you're trying to solve. After understanding your problem you're trying to solve, then you ask yourself, because these are the things you now do within yourself. What are the key deliverables for this project? So the key deliverable is that you have to show them create a clean relational database with foreign keys and their primary keys, right? Import the data sets. You're able to import data sets. Then write SQL queries that answer those questions. Then, so let's get into it, right? So to hasten these things, um, I would should I do that or okay? Yeah, let's do it from scratch. I wanted to say to hasten the class, I would have to copy my already written, what's it called, SQL queries for the creating part, because we've done a lot of creating tables, and then when it comes other parts that we've not done, we'll do it together. But on the other hand, let's start actually. Let's do everything here. So the first thing we do is to create the database that we work with. So to create this database, we use the syntax create database, call it library rentals, right? We run it and we can't see if it is created unless we enable this part, refresh, and we'll scroll through. So this is our database. This is what we just created. So just to make it the active database, because right now the active database is this code DB. That's why it's bolded. So make it out the active. So copy this name. Nice. So run it. we run it. So it makes this, can see it, this one has become the one in bold, meaning it has become the active one, right? So the next thing we'll do is to create the tables. So to create these tables, I would always open my tables in my Excel, just so that I would see the correct table names and their data type. Because remember, if you are creating tables in MySQL, you need to state their data type. That's the constraint to know which one is the primary key, foreign key, and all of that, right? So I would open them in my Excel. Then in Excel, actually look at their data types so that I don't give the wrong constraint or data type to a particular column. Because if you do that when you are importing, it will run into errors. I hope we get that. Okay, so I would start with the books table, right? So I'll open my data set is open in my Excel now. First of all, I'll copy the column names. Then I will take a look at the data set just so that I would know the data types. So this data set has the books table has ISBN, book title, category, rental price, the status, author, and publisher. So in all of these, all of them are variable characters, except the rental price, which comes in floats because it has decimal places. So all of them are variable characters. So I'll create it. Create table called books. Yeah. Yeah, let's just give a comment. Let's be using comments just so that it's explanatory. Create the book table, right? So over here we have the create table table called books, right? Open this. I already copied my my this thing. I copied this thing from Excel the way it is in the column so that I will know I'm getting the right this thing, the right spellings. So I have voucher. I'll give it a length of 20, comma. I have book title. Book title is also my voucher. Give it a length of, because book titles most times can be so long, I'll give it a length of 260. Yeah. I don't know how long that book title can be. So to be on a safer side, we give it this. So we have category, which is a voucher, and the category is either, I think what we have there, sorry, so this actually takes time, it's not something you rush. So the category is classic, literally, fiction, mystery. So the names are not that quite long, so I can just give them, say, 100 is too much, but just to be on the safe side. Then the rental price, we'll go with float, right? Then status is the name in that table, but then it's this status is a reserved keyword in MySQL, so I have to change it, maybe add an E, right? Because your naming convention in MySQL never use a reserved keyword to name your column. It will run into errors for you, because when you run it, MySQL will think you are trying to write a syntax or a query. Meanwhile, you are not. And of course, it's going to be a wrong query, because the position at where it is now is not where I'm supposed to use status if I want to run an optimized query. So always name your columns correctly. So if you do that, you can either go and change it back in your in your table. Yeah, you can change it or you can leave it anyhow. Okay, so I just changed it by the way. So I would put a voucher, right? The status is just whether it is rented or all of that. So I'll just give it what is it called? Voucher 50. The author, that's person who still a name. The author's name might be quite long. We'll give it 100. Publisher, Still voucher. Give it 100. Good. Be good. Yeah. We are. So this is to create the tables, right? So you can either create table, import, create table, import. But then I don't think we should do that because we have to um we have to state which are the primary keys in this case. So let's finish creating, indicate our primary keys and foreign keys, do the import. After importing, then we do the modeling at least. Yeah, maybe next class we start answering the business question. So this is for my table. I would run it. Good, created, right? So the next one, I would want to work with my branch. So the branch, I'll still open it in Excel so that I can see, take a visual inspection. Then I would copy their column names directly so I don't have to type it. So when I just come here, I'll have create branch. I'm just basically telling you how I just make things faster for myself. Create table called branch. And we open this. Over here, we paste branch ID is actually a voucher. It contains letters and numbers, so that's why it's a voucher. Ordinarily, it would have been an integer. Manager ID, I would have to check that too. So it also contains letters and numbers. The only thing that doesn't contain oh good. Okay, I think I'm back. I'm back for good. I pray so. Sorry, sorry, I'm back again. So I keep just being off without my own permission. I hope you guys can hear me. Can you hear me now? Hello, everyone. All right. Okay. Okay. So we're finding the constraints for the branch table, right? So the address is still a variable character. Let's just be a bit faster. No more explanations because by now we know what distance, I believe. Run it. It's not run. Branch already exists. How? Okay, it's run two times. It's run two times. If I check my tables, I have book and branch. Good. So the next one, employees, right? Uh-huh. Employees. So just copy what we have here. Put it here. Employee ID. It's still employee ID. Still variable character. Employee name. Position, I'd have to look that up. Position, okay, still variable character. Only salary is actually integer here. So position is variable character. I can just copy this, put it here. Salary, integer. No need for the length. Make this just 10. Branch ID. So this branch ID, it's a foreign key here. Why? Why? Anybody? Can anybody tell me why I said the branch ID is a foreign key here? This is actually the employee table. It's not for my hand. Why is the branch ID a foreign key here? Because you have to also indicate it though. Anyone? It's in two tables. Okay, where is it a primary key? Where is the branch ID a primary key? Because right now it's a foreign key in the employee table. So where is it a primary key? Foreign key. What's the name of the foreign key? The foreign key name is this branch ID, right? Where is he referencing it? It is referencing it from the branch table, and in that branch table, what is the name? It's also bearing. My screen is not showing. As how? Are you serious? Sorry. Mm, my system is going to be off anytime now. I really don't know why we don't have light yet. You can see when it did battery low, right? It's actually 6%, and I wouldn't want it to die on its own because it's not good for the system. So we have like what's it called? 23 minutes more that would have used very well to do data modeling and imports. But I'm sorry that we have to cut it short just because my system is slow. I've had light issues for some days now, so but then one thing I want you to do for me is to read up on data modeling. We will do it in the class actually, because that's the essence of me working with as many tables as 5 tables, because I want us to know how to do data modeling in my SQL, right? So
And the screen stopped showing. Hello, good evening, everyone. She's not online either.
think the class has ended for today, so maybe we can leave